Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Have you ever been looking things up on the internet and then for some reason some random type thing pops up and you go down that rabbit hole and you check it out? Well, I wanted to share with you an article that popped up today, and it's an article in Reddit, and that's not something that I usually look at, but it came up with a topic that said, "Why is society so anti-prepping?" Which I didn't realize society was anti-prepping. I just thought certain people don't think it's necessary, but I didn't really realize that there's an element of society that's anti-prepping. So these are arguments that they gave for why you should be anti-prepping. Number one, there's not much precedence for need to prep in the U.S., at least not since the Dust Bowl, and even then the proximity to agriculture and lack of reliance on technology helped. Imagine the prepper from the 1960s. Was it all wasted time? I don't think so, but when you go that long without true regional or national SHTF style events, the benefits of prepping are not organically really advertised. Prepping doesn't have to be SHTF. Are they claiming that since the Dust Bowl, nobody has had any kind of an emergency? I know I'm a prepper for what might happen just to myself and my own family, let alone things that could happen in my community, my state, my region, or anywhere that we live. And if you look at what's happening in the world, there are plenty of reasons to be a prepper. If you've ever run out of money before you've run out of money, if you've ever had a job loss or a critical health emergency, have you ever had things like natural disasters that occurred in your region? Is this topic scaring you, Teddy? Have you experienced tornadoes, hurricanes, volcanoes, earthquakes? I have. My son's house even burned to the ground a few years ago. Those are all SHTF events that you need to be prepared for, of how you can face an uncertain future. So thinking nothing's happened since the Dust Bowl seems pretty alarming to me. That's not the way I look at life, and I'm not preparing for just some huge worldwide global emergency. I'm preparing for my own family to have the things we need on a day-to-day basis. Let's look at number two. It's a pain in the you-know-what to some degree, especially if it's not something you're interested in. Prepping takes extra space and money. If you have a genuine interest in it, then the hobby lifestyle is okay. People who already have an interest in camping or security, there's a lot of overlap. That's flabbergasting to me that prepping is a waste because it takes up space and money. What about people who collect baseball cards or fancy handbags or just tchotchkes that they decorate their house? I would think that's more a pain in the you-know-what. I'd rather have things that are actually valuable to me on a day-to-day basis that can provide peace of mind and security to my family. A pile of baseball cards, some Beanie Babies, or the latest pair of shoes is not going to help you much in an emergency situation, in my opinion. Because my opinion is, I'm never going to have an emergency that another pair of shoes is going to save the day. Number three, prepping is associated with a lot of a-holes who spend their whole present focusing on an uncertain future. The community has its share of weirdos, but I wouldn't be surprised if it has relatively more neurotic types compared to, say, the fly fishing community. That is just laughable to me. I don't know why wanting to have some extra food and first aid supplies means that you're more neurotic than a fly fisherman. Number four, it's uncomfortable, stressful to have to think about major crises, at least the type of which that things like food, water cease to exist for a meaningful time. I think there's a lot more prep for things like snowstorms because you're almost guaranteed to get back to normal within a week or so. And that's the whole point. It is uncomfortable and it is stressful to think about emergencies. And that's why it gives you peace of mind and security that you have a few things in your home. So yes, at the end of the day, it is right that you should have things because you could have something like a snowstorm and you can't get out of the house. Let's not even go there back to 2020 when we had the shutdowns. There was absolute panic in the streets over who has enough toilet paper or what are we going to catch, or all the crazy things that went on with the pandemic. And so, yeah, if you're a prepper and you have things on hand in your home, being called a prepper doesn't make you a nutcase. It just means that you are preparing. If you put money in the bank so that you have an extra cushion, that's also prepping for an uncertain future. But that doesn't make you nutty. If you save extra money in the bank so that you have a cushion when you need it, that's a type of prepping. Should we be anti-saving? I don't know. I just thought this was a very interesting article, and I thought I would share with you because it's important that we understand some of the thoughts and ideas that other people have instead of just ourselves. We need to look at what is the opposite of how we think so that we can deal with those emotions, those thoughts, those thought processes, so that we can learn to really focus on what is important to us, how it makes sense, and then realize that what we're doing is right, even if people think that we might be more neurotic than fly fishermen. Leave it in the comments. What do you think about why is society so anti-prepping? It just seems like a weird thing for people to be against. There's so many things that I think are more critically worried about, and prepping gives me peace of mind. And that's why I'm a prepper. I want every day to go as smoothly as possible for every day of my life and for those around me that I love and care for. I hope you'll like my video, share my video, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel. Don't worry, Teddy. Society isn't going to go against you.